Over 100 million women around the world use this product daily, the tampon. And today, in our first official Top Drawer product review, we're going to dive into the brand August that claims to make non-toxic period care for everyone. We're going to break down the materials, we're going to break down how well it works, and we're also going to break down the value to determine if it's actually worth your money. But have you ever thought about what happens or whether or not your tampon should rip? We're going to talk about that. But first, let's learn a little bit more about the brand August. August is a brand that values sustainability and inclusivity with claims like climate neutral and 100% net recycled plastic. Co-founders Nick and Nadia are on a mission to fight period stigma and make the period experience better with their more absorbent and softer pads and tampons. August says their products are designed for everyone who menstruates and community expired, with clean ingredients, which we really like to see, like ultra soft, 100% organic cotton. They note a transparent supply chain and impact initiatives like supporting various projects and nonprofits. On their website, you can actually only buy bundles, which is a commitment, but it's also a nice way to try multiple products at one time. For me, the website shopping experience always feels a bit confusing, so I just made my purchase directly from Target. Now let's see what these tampons are all about. So I've been using the regular and super August tampons on and off for about a year now. And overall, my experience has been fine. I haven't noticed anything super outstanding or anything significantly worse than any other organic or natural tampon brand that I typically buy. But I have purchased them multiple times for a little over a year now, so that's got to say something. I will say I have been using tampons significantly less ever since the study came out about all of the potentially toxic metals that are found in most major tampon brands. I'm not saying that August specifically is connected to this. We actually don't know what brands were connected or a part of that study. But since then, I've just been using tampons significantly less. So if I am using any tampon brand, it's because I'm either going to the gym to work out or for whatever reason, just out of the house, out and about, and on the go. Now, one of the co-founders of August, Nadia, talks a lot about how strong and durable the cotton is and has done quite a few demonstrations claiming that the cotton from the tampons actually does not rip. Well, we're going to see if that's actually true today. Next, we're going to talk about the ingredients, and then we're going to talk about the function to see if August tampons actually rip or not. So let's break down the three parts of the entire tampon experience. First, you have the outer wrapper, which is made up of polyethylene. Polyethylene is basically a plastic. Most brands make claims that their plastic is BPA free. Polyethylene is generally BPA free. What is BPA actually? In large amounts, it is considered a toxic compound, so basically something that you don't want to put in your body or consume. Next, you have the applicator. Their applicator is also made up of polyethylene, which is a plastic, and the brand also claims that their polyethylene is BPA free. Lastly, you have the actual tampon. This is the actual tampon itself, this part here. So their tampon is certified organic cotton, which is actually what you want to look out for. Many brands actually use, mainstream brands I'll say, actually use bleached cotton and will have other toxic chemicals that make up their tampon, which you want to be very mindful of if this is going inside your vagina. So what you can actually do is take a look at the ingredients or materials that are on the back of the box and make sure that for the most part, it's only got certified organic, it's made up of certified organic cotton. Now, I will say this cotton, very similar to the claims on their website, this does feel pretty soft. My experience using it, I didn't really have any leaks or anything like that. Now, I will say, I don't know if you can see, I have been manipulating it a bit here, but you can see some fibers coming out here pretty easily. Now, this is something with most tampon brands. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's any way around this too. And maybe we'll come across another brand in another review later. But the August founder did make some pretty strong claims that their tampons do not rip. She's pulled on the string quite a few times. Now, this is an unused tampon. I am not putting tampon blood in this episode, but I will just say that I found that the tampon does rip. It does rip pretty easily. And again, this is something that you want to be mindful of. Test out some of the tampons that you currently have. And by test, I mean just generally like see if they do rip. Now that one's actually pretty hard to rip. See if they do rip. Now what you want to be mindful of is these little pieces here that are coming out. These can get stuck and kind of live in your vaginal walls, which is something that you actually, that's something that you don't want. So if you are a heavy tampon user or thinking about trying out other products because you are concerned about this, then I would definitely suggest that you test out some of the tampons that you're currently using or thinking about using and see how easy they rip. Because in my experience, pretty much every tampon brand this is going to happen. The last point that I want to make about the materials is that everything is 100% recyclable and compostable. So after you take the wrapper off, this can be recycled. After you've used the applicator, it can be recycled. And once you've taken out the actual tampon after you've used it, do not recycle it. Do not flush it either. Just throw it in the trash as you normally would. Or if you have a compost, this cotton is actually compostable. So sustainable, yes. Good for the environment, yes. So how do these tampons actually perform for me? Let's break it down by all three parts. So first, the plastic wrapper, for me, it's typically pretty easy to open. This is something, it can have an impact on your experience. If you're rushing, typically we're rushing to the bathroom to put a tampon in. If you've got lotion on your hands or something like that, you want it to be easy to open. So I never really have issues just ripping this open. Now we're going to talk about the applicator. To me, the applicator can make or break your experience. So let's kind of break it down from top to bottom. These kind of slits here that you see at the top for the tampon to be able to come out of, the August applicator is actually fairly smooth. So there's nothing like sticking out abnormally like it should. Now this, if something is like sticking up further than it should, you might get pinched while you're inserting this or potentially like scratched a little bit. And it is very easy to kind of make small tears in your vaginal walls. So you want to, I think about that when I think about my tampon experience. So the August applicator is a pretty smooth experience, and the grip. Now I insert my tampon by holding these two fingers, and then I end up pushing up this way, pushing it in this way. So their grip, you can see it's got this little design here that makes it easy for your fingers to grip, and it doesn't slip. And for me, it typically just pushes out very, very easily. What I'll note as well is the long applicator. Personally, I don't like the experience of compact applicators. They'll typically kind of come designed this way, and then you have to pull it out a little bit. It's never really the smooth experience like it should be, and I don't necessarily care about having a compact tampon, so I appreciate having the long applicator so I can just push a tampon in and be done. So let's talk about the functionality of the actual tampon or the cotton itself. I typically use, this is their regular tampon. Most of the time if I'm using a tampon, it is going to be a regular. I have what I would consider a regular or a medium flow. I do have supers on deck just in case, but I don't generally have any issues with leaks or anything like that. So when the tampon is going in, it's staying compact like that, and it will expand this way as needed. I believe you're supposed to change your tampon every 6 to 8 hours. I don't think I ever leave mine in that long for them to get full enough.
I have experienced leaks with tampons before, but it's typically just because it's a poor tampon. I've never really bled through unless I'm wearing a light tampon when I needed a regular or maybe a super tampon. But with this one, I've never had any issues with absorbency or leaks or anything when wearing the August tampons. Now, when pulling out your tampon, that's when we'll talk about the durability of how the tampon is made and the actual cotton that it is made up of. Now, I've also never had any issues with pulling the tampon out. You'll see, we'll talk about the ripping again. You'll see I've been manipulating this here, during this demonstration, so not very much. But down here, there is some of the cotton, again, that is starting to come out. This is what you want to be mindful of. And again, I think you're going to run the risk of this with any tampon that you use. Some brands are going to be not as good or worse than others. I don't really have any issues with the string when I'm pulling out the tampon, but what you do want to be mindful of is these things do rip, and this cotton can get stuck in your vaginal walls. Now let's jump into the value. $9.99, $10 for a box of 16 tampons. One box will last me because I'm not using them that frequently, will last me 2 to 3 periods. Now that doesn't seem that bad, but there are other brands, which we will review later, that cost $9.99 or $10 for a box of 18. Again, also 100% organic cotton, BPA-free plastic. They're selling their tampons for $10 for a box of 18. There is another organic tampon brand. I can't remember if it's the BPA-free plastic as well, but they have a box of 30 for $10. So what are we paying for? What are we actually paying for? We're paying for the sustainability claims. We're paying for the BPA-free plastic. We are paying for the 100% organic cotton. We're paying for the ethical supply chain that they're talking about. So that's what we're thinking about when we're paying $9.99 for a box of tampons. It is on the higher end, and I will try to find these on sale if I am going to purchase the August tampons. So $9.99 for a box of 16. It is priced slightly higher per tampon. It is priced slightly higher per tampon than other organic cotton tampon brands. I'll also say that the ripping claims, those are strong claims that don't seem to be true, made by the founders of this brand. So the ripping claims do distract me a bit when thinking about the value. $9.99 for a box of 16. Your tampons rip just like other tampons are probably going to rip as well. So that's something I think about when determining value for me. All right, so now let's break down the final score to see where the August tampons land. For material, I'm going to give it 3 points. 100% organic cotton, recyclable wrapper, recyclable plastic, A+, 3 out of 3 on the ingredients. Now for the function, 2 points. The absorbency is there. It's easy to use, but you're losing points on the ripping. Those are very strong claims that they just weren't really able to back up. And for value, 1 point. The price of $10 for a box of 16 just does not justify the experience at all. So that gives August tampon 6 out of 9 total points, landing it in the middle drawer. I do love the brand's focus on using organic materials and sustainability as well. However, the claims that the brand is making are not fully backed up, and the experience does not justify the price per box. So there you have it. Our first official product review is done. If you've tried August tampons before or have any thoughts on how they compare to other products, let the people know in the comments. Please be on the lookout for more honest reviews from this channel because it is so important for women to know more about the products we're using and if they're actually worth our money. Please share this video with your best friend, your sister, your cousin, or anyone else who you think would benefit from this information. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Top Drawer.